We are set. Hi, I'm Daniel Likus, and welcome to Abstract Essay, where ideas take shape, thought find depth, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. He is a literature storyteller and screenwriter, as well as an author of several books, none other than Mr. Menelaos Gkikas.
Hello, Daniel. I'm grateful you give me a stand to express my opinions and my storytelling art and strategies. I would feel delighted to answer your questions.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Menelaos. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And after is the police. So today let's talk about creative storytelling strategies. So tell us, beyond just telling or entertaining, what is the most profound psychological or emotional purpose of a story that most businesses and creators overlook?
Yes, this is an exciting question, and an exciting question related with the book of Color of literature theory. He has given a very sophisticated perspective about the true psychological and emotional purpose of writing a story. He says that what the majority of us overlook is that the absolute present, both in nature and in writing, has long been extinguished. This counts for the universe, this counts for nature, this counts for creative writing as well. What we have to realize is that creative writing exists in multiple dimensions. The audience is one dimension. The world of the creator, on the other hand, the world of art, the world of a subject matter, these are different dimensions. It's vague and I would say it's vanity to believe you will achieve the absolute present both from the writer and the creator. We all exist as avatars in parallel universe. So as you realize, the congratulations, all the criticism, all the good opinion, all the bad opinion is highly entangled not just with the creator or the reader, spectator, but due to the fact that no one can be fully present in any situation. You will exist and you will criticize and you will feel the consequences and the impact just from our own perspective. Have I answered your question completely?
Definitely, yeah, Mr. Menelaus. In a word structure with content, what is the key to making a story not just be heard, but felt and remembered?
Yes, an advice that many artists as well as actors give to people, including their fellow colleagues, is that we have to be ourselves. All other roles are taken. From the very moment we will realize we will express our own identity and not just miming something we saw in the television related with the glamorous and the shiny world of art, something related to the red carpet, something related to the lifestyle, but we should focus on the art of being ourselves and express our deepest desires and our deepest emotions. I believe this is a great advice to express a story not just told or heard, but remembered and felt as well. Be ourselves, in other words. All other roles are taken, Daniel.
Indeed, Mr. Menelaus. How do you navigate the delicate balance between crafting and a compelling narrative and staying authentic to the truth? Is there a place for creative license in nonfiction storytelling?
This is a hard skills question, I believe. I should say that polysemy frees our hands. Polysemy and semiotics are very important. What we have to realize with polysemy and semiotics, both in pure creative writing scripts as well as essays or scientific articles or data storytelling, etc., is that we have to make the right choice. Many times searching deep and becoming caustic with the right choice frees our hands and frees our creative expressions. I don't know if you have realized yourself that natural sciences scripts have very sophisticated polysemy, and many times scripts are ambiguous, scripts are multidimensional, scripts are spicy, scripts have juicy details. So I believe that the right choice and the art of polysemy are the two vital ingredients to come up with storytelling that is compelling and stays close to the truth.
Definitely the truth, people, the truth. Before a single word is written, what is the most important strategic question a storyteller should ask themselves about their audience?
This is a question that should be answered from the end to the beginning. I should focus on the word you expressed, audience. What's really important to understand in this is that we have to stop writing for the mean average. We have to stop writing to please someone. We have to stop writing to be loved. We have to we have to stop writing to be liked, but we should search for the archetypal. We should search for the deep. We should search for something deep down our DNA, deep down in our subconscious. It's a mistake to say, I will exploit something my friend told, something I read in the internet, something I heard on the television, something I read in a book, something I saw in the newspaper. I will take the mean average out of all those and I will create a script that will statistically answer the masses. This is a mistake. The reality is, and the strategic reality we have to focus related with the audience is that we have to go deep. We have to search for our core DNA. And we have, as I said in the beginning, stop worrying about the mean average, but be authentic in other words. In other words, be original, be strategic, and as a matter of fact, as I said previously, again, express truth. I believe I have answered your question, right,
Yes,
Daniel?
indeed. Yes, indeed. Be authentic in everything, people. We all know the classic story arcs. What is the underrated or unconventional story structures that you find incredibly effective?
One of the unconventional structures, and not necessarily Hollywood inspired, is, I believe, focusing on non-linear narratives. For those of you that may not be familiar of the term, nonlinear narratives have to do with deep diving into our memory, our feelings, and our subconscious. Flashbacks, parallel lines that exist in parallel or in comparison with the main script. As a matter of fact, nonlinear narratives is very much strategic, is more chaotic, is not the standard Hollywood pattern, but can be exploited in terms of discussing and suggesting difficult topics, in terms of discussing and suggesting not necessarily underrated, but I would say something related with your soul, something of an ethical structure, something of a philosophy structure, something of a deep thought-provoking structure. Non-linear narratives, as I expressed in the beginnings, is what I believe a conventional story pattern that has been not necessarily overrated when it comes to Hollywood mainstream, but a pattern that can express lots of beautiful and deep dive thoughts.
Interesting, Mr. Menelaos. Interesting indeed. And how can we strategically use sensory details beyond sight and sound to create a more immersive and memorable story for our audience?
I believe this is something that has to do with mathematical logic as well. We all have five senses. We know the five senses. Nevertheless, we also have a sixth sense. The sixth sense has to do with intuition. I don't want to describe in this question all the analytical sensory details related with sight, sound, touch, etc. But I want to focus on the intuition aspect, something that tries to predict and give predictive potential, because what we feel before we tell the story, what we sense about the story before we dare to express is more important. For example, what would happen if all these what ifs that we ask before we express a story is that can give us, from the mathematic point of view, predictive potential in terms of exploiting not necessarily the five senses, but the intuition as well, and try actually to foreshadow, to foresee, to predict, to to act like a little prophet, I would say, and try to emphasize on the forecasting of how the story should evolve. I believe intuition can play this part, try to sense the story and try to sense what matters and what not before we dare to express, so that we can give a direction to the script based on the intuition. And if we would like to enrich the story, enrich it with all sensory details and the five senses as well.
Interesting, Mr. Menelaos. Interesting indeed. You've mentioned the power of what's too left unsaid. How can it strategically withholding information actually build a deeper connection with the audience?
The deeper connection with the audience, I believe, can happen in multiple stages. But we should start from something I have been advised in fiction literature classes that has to do with subtractive writing and calculated indeterminacy. I believe you understand subtractive writing is not when you put all the deep information into the script, but you try to keep the main gist and become subtractive, not only to disclose or to conceal or to reveal information, but just to hit the core. Becoming subtractive and becoming indeterminate can play a vital a role in concealing, I would say, hidden or forbidden or formidable attributes from the script that can be revealed later on. So to stay close to the essence of your question that has to do with building, as you say, not building, withholding information that can play a great role in the script, I believe is this: becoming subtractive and becoming calculated indeterminate regarding the script.
Regarding the script, for sure. And Mr. Menelaos, how or why is a character's vulnerability and imperfection often the most crucial ingredient for building audience trust?
Well, imperfection, I should say, is not a reason to judge, is not a reason to punish, but it's a reason to understand what empathy is. As I say in Rose Garden Second Chance, my first epic fairy tale fantasy, getting interested in empathy fields, as I used the term in my book, but also becoming familiar in empathy makes us put ourselves in our reader's shoes, or not necessarily our readers, but someone else's shoes, except ourselves. This is the main factor that plays a crucial part in understanding that witnesses should not necessarily transform in top level strengths and top level opportunities all the times, but a reason to understand our fragile nature. As long as we understand that empathy is here not to judge and not to punish, I believe that understanding the other side, not just our own selves, but what the other side has to express, what the reader or what the audience may feel or would like to hear from the writer, I believe that can strengthen our story's potential from an empathy point of view as well.
Very well said, Mr. Menelaus. So how can we structure a story to make the audience feel like an active participant or co creator rather than just a passive consumer?
Well, you ask a very difficult question that perhaps does not have a clear answer. First of all, we have to know the differences with our audience to become more effective. We should know that the audience is not the creator and the creator is not the audience. As a matter of fact, we listen, we pay attention to two different things. From the very moment we will realize these differences, we will be able to cure and we will be able to heal the world. From the moment this happens, curing and healing the world, I believe that we should start. This is a moment, as a matter of fact, we start empathizing with our audience, and we can structure a story not necessarily to make a power show or to to show and not tell, but to feel the audience and to feel the difference before we try to identify ourselves with the reader and becoming identical, first of all, we should know our differences. Knowing our differences, we'll find the similarities as well. I believe this is important.
Know your differences for sure. So, Mr. Menelaus, what is the strategic role of a compelling antagonist or central challenge in a brand story, and how does it shape the narrative?
I believe this is a question that, first of all, for the writer demands great stomach. A compelling antagonist, as well as becoming the writer's judges of ourselves as well, is, as a matter of fact, when the antagonist or the writer that plays the antagonist puts pressure on the right points. If you put pressure of the right points, and if you don't try to rationalize your fears, you fear something, or you may have a phobia. Phobia is not fear, it's something artificial. Nevertheless, it works perfect in thrillers. For example, when you see a thriller with plenty of antagonists in the thriller, you know that the fear you feel as you watch the film, is not real. It's something directed. It's something that comes from the pattern of the script and the pattern of the movie and the crew of the movie. If you put pressure on the right points and you not and the writer does not try to rationalize his fears, I believe the antagonist will serve the purpose of the script. From the very moment we do not try to hide and try to put pressure on the right points, I believe the antagonist will become more real, will become more true, will become more effective.
More effective indeed. And Mr. Menelaos, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101, love letters, and movie 101 review, music 101 are in a fourth season, science 101 and sex 101 in its second season, and my baby podcast, Low 101, Mental Health 101, as well as my Bible Verses 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Menelaos, tell us, as AI begins to generate basic narrative, what will become the most valuable, uniquely human skill for our storyteller?
I believe this is a question that highly contradicts AI. AI is machinery, AI is technical. Nevertheless, what many of us underestimate is our own voice. We have been trained to realize and to believe that everyone else is right except ourselves. This is wrong. We have to listen to our own voice. So I would say that one way to contradict the technical process of writing that comes with AI is that if the writer decides to put taste, put emotion, and put identity into his scripts, her scripts, his scripts, the writer, and try to build the conflict and the story arc, not necessarily on what is expected or not necessarily related with genre expectations, but for God's sake, put your own taste, express your own emotions, put your own identity into your scripts, and try to fight and give the good battle with the meanings that will emerge. I believe this is an effective method to overcome the revolution of the AI and perhaps become better from an AI robot if we just listen to our own voice, because at the end of the day, our own voice and our own selves is better than the AI. Not trying to mime someone, not trying to be someone else, but express our tastes, our emotions, and our own identities that may be rare, that may be common, but at the end of the day will serve the script better.
Mr. Menelaos Gkikas, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your books, your advocacy, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yes, of course. My books, you can find Rose Garden, A Second Chance, The Words of Emily Logan, Genetic Key Number, The Little Ladder of Happiness and When Magic Truly Happens. If you direct hit them in Amazon, or if you find my Amazon author page, Menelaos Gkikas, my Amazon author page is www.amazon.com/author/makers dust. You can find my Amazon author page and you can have a preview of my 5 books. I have written many of them. Or else you can Google them all over the internet. My Menelaos Gkikas, if you Google my name, or if you hit my titles as you see them right now in the screen, if you just pause the video, and you can find them both in Amazon, in Apple iTunes, in Google if you Google them, in Indigo, in Walmart, in Barnes and Noble, all over the internet and all over the globe.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Menelaos Gkikas because if you support him, for sure, more and more empowering books like this to come. So, Mr. Menelaos, thank you so much for your time.
Hello, Daniel. It was my honor as well to give me a stand and a step to express my views and my art. I truly hope I could, we could again communicate. As you revealed previously, you have another podcast, the Abstract Poetry Podcast. I believe I have become poetical many times in my books, and poetry, not necessarily related with real poems, but just the art and the science of poetic language. It will be my honor to be interviewed again from you, and I would truly anticipate that.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Menelaos Gkikas once again. More to come, people. See you soon.
Have a nice